Hello and good evening everybody, and welcome back once again for another video of DIY investing. Before we jump into this video, I wanted to just quickly say thank you guys so much for all of the support recently. The channel's really been blowing up over the last couple weeks. Had a couple different shout outs on my channel from a couple different YouTubers, so thank you guys so much for that. It's really nice to finally be putting so much effort into this YouTube channel and then to see it actually start paying off. My goal was to hit 1,000 subs, and we've actually almost doubled my subscriber count over the last week. And so we're currently sitting at about 1,430 subscribers. So thank you guys so much. It really does mean the world to me. This has always been a big dream of mine to kind of run a YouTube channel. I remember watching one of my best friends, Dallin Anderson at High Altitude Investing, start his YouTube channel back in the last bear market, and just to see all of the influence that he was able to have, all of the amazing people that he was able to meet, it really inspired me to, make my own YouTube channel. And so it's been a long process to get to this point. It's been a lot of trial and error. I've had a lot of ups and downs in the time of trading cryptocurrency. And I know that getting ready for this next cycle, this one's going to be so much bigger than anything that we've experienced up to this point. And you guys have so much potential to make a lot of money, which is my biggest reason for wanting to make this channel. Really, my ultimate goal of this channel has always been to help other people obtain financial freedom through cryptocurrency investing, because I truly feel like this is the one market that you can invest a little bit of money in, whether it's just paycheck to paycheck or whatever it might be, and you can actually make a significant life-changing amount over the next couple years. So that's my biggest reasons for making this channel. I wanted to just say thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys have really been killing it. With the growth that I'm seeing right now, I'm going to set a goal for 10K subscribers. Let's see how quickly we can get to that target. I know, like I've stated in other videos, it seriously took me like a year to get to 100 subs, and then once I hit 100 subs, it seemed like I was averaging 100 every month, and now I'm actually starting to average even more than that. And so it really is mind-blowing to see all of this kind of playing out. I've been trading crypto for about 3.5 years, been investing in the same time. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've made a lot of successes in the meantime as well. But I really wanted to make this channel to help mentor you guys through all of the chaos of the cryptocurrency markets, especially now that we have institutional investors that are going to be jumping on in this next cycle. Now is going to be a great opportunity to make a lot of money, but if you aren't trusting the right people, more oftentimes than not, you're going to be stuck losing. Even in such a parabolic market like cryptocurrency, where it seems like you can just shoot fish in the barrel and make profit, if you don't know what you're doing or you're taking the wrong advice from the wrong people, you can still end up losing money in the long run, which is my biggest reason for creating this channel. I wanted to help inspire as many people as I possibly can to get involved with cryptocurrency, because I know for myself it's changed my life dramatically. I can say without a doubt that if I didn't find cryptocurrency, I think that I would have been in jail or even prison, to be completely honest. There's a big part of my life that you guys don't understand, but I can say without a doubt that it's because of cryptocurrency that I've found a passion that I can dedicate all of my energy towards and really just learn and grow with a community that I can trust. So thank you guys so much for the support. It really means the world to me. With all that being said, if you're new and just finding this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more updates like the one provided for you here. If you're looking for signals, or you just want to join a community where you can follow my analysis and share analysis of your own, click the invitation link in the description, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. The Discord's been blowing up, so it would be an honor to have you guys join that and be a part of the DIY investing community. Alright guys, with all that being said, today's video we're going to be diving in and taking a look at an overall market update amongst the Bitcoin chart. We're going to dive in and see some updated analysis with what I'm seeing with the overall price action that we've experienced over the last couple of days. On top of that, we're going to be looking at the market cap for Bitcoin, and then we're going to be diving into the total market cap of altcoins, as well as taking a look at that dominance chart for the altcoins. This is going to be an overall market update, so we've got a lot of things to cover. So without further ado, let's jump right in the video today. Here we are taking a look at Bitcoin on the daily time frame. Now you guys understand that for my last update we were still right about at 7,800, and I told you guys that I was expecting a relief rally to ensue, but really what happened was we sold off very convincingly from that point. So we're going to dive into a shorter time frame today and take a look at the current price action that we're seeing. Now overall, even though we are having this big buyback that's coming in right below support, I'm not bullish in the slightest. I still expect us to continue back down to the 6K support floor. Now, what has changed is the fact that we have sold off a little bit lower. I expected us to get a bounce somewhere around the $7,600 level, and then we did not. So right now, we're just kind of retracing back up into some more resistance, and from there we're going to decide exactly how high this retrace is going to take us, and then from there what point in which we're going to sell off. So I'm going to go through and actually label some resistance levels that I'm watching. Now realistically, I think that this is going to be my primary resistance. This is going to be a pretty major resistance, and I don't know if we're actually going to be able to clear all the way back up here and hit this, but if we do bounce, I would expect us to go no higher than about $8,500. This is technically $8,450, and then the lower of that box is about $8,300. And so this is kind of what I'm going to be watching out for with Bitcoin. Now with that being said, I can say that we also have another one. Now this one's right under that resistance, and so let's draw this real quick. This is going to be the next resistance level that I'm going to watch, is right about here. Now with that being said, I think that we will see a short-term relief rally, and I actually updated you guys on my Twitter and told you guys that. I made a tweet that said, now is not the time to be looking to short the market. If anything, the best thing that you're going to be able to do is actually look for short-term long positions to catch that relief rally that we're about to see. And that was actually at the very bottom here at about 6,900 to 7,000. And from there, we've actually bounced pretty convincingly from that point. But overall, I'm still bearish. I don't think that this is a bullish setup in the slightest. We just sold through our support of about 7,400, and now we're just kind of retesting that. And so if we actually do clear this $7,400 level, or roughly where we're at right now, my next resistance is going to be about 7,800 to 7,950, and then if we can clear that, I'd expect us to go no higher than about 8,450 to about 8,300. And so that's what I'm going to be watching out for with Bitcoin, but really not much has changed. I mean, if we do get a relief rally, there's a couple scenarios that I'm watching. Either A, we bounce up to roughly where we're at before continuing lower in this impulse. There's another scenario, which would be scenario B, where we bounce up and then kind of rally into this resistance before kind of topping out, and then we would actually go back down in that cycle once more. And then obviously scenario C, where we bounce out, maybe we break up to here, and then we come up a little bit higher and retest that before continuing back down in that cycle. And really, this isn't meant to be an exact price target or anything. I'm showing you these lines to just kind of map out exactly what I'm talking about. Either we're going to get rejected where we're at right now at resistance and fall lower, or we're going to bounce up to these next two resistance levels. But overall, it's roughly the same outline. All three perspectives see this as going for another low. And so that's what I'm going to be watching out for. Now, if we drop it to a little bit bigger time frame, let's actually remove all of these drawing tools. My realistic target for this next bottom is going to be $6,300. I think that $6,300 is about the average of this 6K support floor. Now, we can actually go a little bit lower. In fact, I think that the lowest point in which we would go would be about here at about 5,800. So about right there. I think that it's possible that we could actually fall back down to those low significant support levels, just because that was the lowest point of that 6K support floor. Now, we already have wick down to about 6,800, but the fact that this really doesn't look like a bullish setup, even if we do bounce for the short term into some more resistance, I'm still going to be bearish for another leg lower. And in fact, since we actually have such a strong bearish impulse right now, it leads me to believe that it could very easily hit this $5,800 level. But you got to remember that my first bids are going to be set at 63. I think that that's a realistic support target for me to target for entries. And so that's kind of what I'm going to be rocking out with. Now, worst case scenario, let's pull up our Fibonacci extension tool. Worst case scenario is we end up dropping down here to the 786, which would be about $5,500, and that's very possible, guys. Something to keep a note of is based off of Elliott wave analysis, and I know that I haven't been trading a whole lot of Elliott waves for you guys. I've been sticking mainly to price action. But based off of Elliott wave theory, this was just a one-wave impulse, right? We had our 1, 3, and 5-wave impulse, and now we're selling off from that point. Now, one thing that my buddy Dallin Anderson at High Altitude Investing mentioned to me was the fact that one waves can retrace really far in these cycles. And he actually brought up the NASDAQ, an early NASDAQ fractal that he shared with me, and it actually showed that this has potential to come all the way back down to this 618 support level and potentially even a tiny bit lower. Now, with one waves, they can retrace really far. Now, with a one wave, it can retrace all the way back down to this 88.3 support level, and it could go technically even lower than that, but I'm not necessarily going to write that off with Bitcoin. I don't think that that's going to be as possible or probable inside of Bitcoin's market. I would have to say that the lowest I expect Bitcoin to go would be down to about 5,500, and that is a possibility that I'm watching for. But you guys know that based off of my last few videos, I've already told you guys that when Bitcoin started breaking support at 7,600, well, technically it would be about 7,400, which would have been right about here. Once Bitcoin started breaking that level and we started venturing back into the mid 6,000s, that's actually going to be the point in which I was just deploying cash. Now, $6,300 is my target. That's really where I'm going to put the bulk of my bids, is right about there. If we go a little bit lower, I'm just going to continue to dollar cost average in with whatever extra cash that I can muster up. But overall, guys, I'm just trying to buy and accumulate this dip with as much curiosity as I possibly can, because I don't expect us to maintain these low support levels and this bearish retest for much longer. Now, with all of that being said, I still think we're going to get a short-term relief rally. So if you're watching this and you're seeing Bitcoin go up, now's not the time to really start FOMOing into it, even though we are close to about $7,300, $7,500. I would wait for the inevitable move back down to the 6K support floor. And that's really what I've been calling since about right here. I told you guys that that should be the thing that you're watching out for. With this pump, I wanted us to see it start impulsing immediately after, but we actually started selling off, which made me more bearish that this trend was still very much intact, and not really much has changed from that point. Now, realistically, I don't expect us to kind of hang around these low support levels for long. I think it's more likely that we come, get a strong sell-off, and then we bounce out of there. And then we would probably start uptrending a little bit out of that. But I think that the initial peak back down to the 6K support floor won't be long-lived. I think the greatest scenario, the best thing that I could possibly think about happening for everybody involved with cryptocurrency, is that we sell off, we hit this 6K support floor, and then we have a nice, slow, rounded accumulation on this lower support trend. That would be ideal. That would give everybody more time to accumulate cheap Bitcoin, but I don't necessarily think that that's going to be the case. However, I could be wrong. I've been wrong in times past, and really I'm not trying to make any assumptions or predictions. I'm just sharing with you guys kind of my analysis and thoughts with things moving forward. So this is the Bitcoin technical analysis that I wanted to share with you guys. Overall, not much has changed. I just gave you a couple different levels and predictions to watch out for if we did actually fall to 76, or if we actually ended up falling to the 786 level. I just wanted you guys to know that that is a possibility. If we sell through there, that's going to be a really fearful time, because that technically would be piercing below the 6K support floor, but I really don't think that that's the likely scenario in the slightest. I just don't see us going that low. In fact, I really didn't see us going back down to the 6K support floor. So the fact that we're going back down to here is a blessing in disguise. I'm just personally going to be accumulating as much Bitcoin as I can and waiting for the next cycle to move forward. So this is my Bitcoin analysis. Now let's actually dive into the Bitcoin market cap and show you guys what I'm thinking with that. So not much has changed from my last update. We actually sold off convincingly from this rejection that we saw at this descending resistance. We've had multiple reactions to this descending resistance, and every time we've produced a sell-off. And so I expected it to kind of play out similarly. Now, at the time we were at this third candlestick, and then from that we actually closed into this fourth, and we have sold through support. Now, the thing about the Bitcoin market cap is it kind of paints a clearer picture than the actual Bitcoin on the dollar price. And so this is what I'm kind of leaning towards with finding my support and resistance levels and trading price action. And this one seems to be setting up a lot more symmetrical, with us actually dropping back down to, the support floor down here, which on the market cap would be about 111 billion, and we could actually drop all the way back down to about 100 billion. And so that's kind of what I'm going to be watching for. Now, 100 billion would be right around that 786 region. It's also kind of at the base of this support floor that we saw at 6K. And so this is kind of what I'm going to be watching out for moving forward. The fact that we've broken through support, we rejected it after this retest, and now we're selling through this support that we had. I still expect us to drop back down to this floor down here. And so that's going to be a very good buying opportunity. But I just barely dove into the Bitcoin price and did some analysis with that, so I really don't need to go much further into this. You guys just know what I'm seeing from a strictly technical analysis perspective with trading price action. Now let's actually dive into the altcoins and show you guys what I'm thinking moving forward with them. So to start this off, we're going to be taking a look at the altcoin market cap. With the altcoin market cap, from the December lows to the June to mid-June, we had our relief rally. That was really the first major bull run that we saw. And with the altcoins, it wasn't a very big one. Bitcoin went straight to 14K from that point, and altcoins really didn't go very high. It wasn't a very big impulse, but it did happen nonetheless. And from that point, we've actually sold off a lot. this thing has been dropping pretty quickly, and now we're actually selling through what appears to be that short-term support. And so what I'm watching for currently is my next buy zone. Now I think that we're actually going to find a bottom from about 60 billion down here to about 55 billion. And there always is the possibility that we could actually fully retrace and come back down to this low support level that we saw from the December lows. But I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I would assume that it probably wouldn't. But with Bitcoin falling to 6K potentially, then that's going to be a pretty strong sell-off. And so that's kind of what I'm going to be watching out for with the altcoin market cap. Now, the biggest reason for me continuing to be bullish on altcoins is the fact that we had so much good volume that came in from this initial rally. And now that we're retracing that move, we still have a significant amount of volume coming in here. And so I'm still bullish for those reasons. Now, with that being said, I know a lot of altcoins are going to fail support in this retrace, and they're going to continue to go lower. But the better altcoins that have a more consistent track record, I think that those are going to continue to hold support. Because, I mean, just by taking a look at this chart, we can see direct correlations to Ethereum. For whatever reason, the altcoin market cap generally follows the closest symmetry to the Ethereum chart. And so for that reason, I still expect us to hold support. I don't think that Ethereum is going to fall to new lows. Really, my targets for Ethereum are $130 to $140, and I think that that would put us roughly around this same area for this green box that I have drawn here. Now, with this being such a strong retrace, I think that this is going to be such a good buying opportunity, and everybody should be maximizing that potential with as much cash as that they can muster, really, at this point. Because at the end of the day, really all I can tell you guys is what I'm doing personally. And remember, it's not investment advice of any kind. I just wanted to share with you guys what I do in hopes of maybe mentoring you guys through all of the emotional chaos that you're going to experience inside of this market. Because I know when I first got into crypto and I didn't have a trading plan, I really didn't even have a trading style at that point. I was just kind of up for grabs by the market to just let me get destroyed with whatever right or wrong decisions that I was making. And so for that, I've actually been able to manage a trading plan. I've developed a strategy that works for me. And so because of that, I really have no emotional attachment to these things. If altcoins go for a new low, so be it. I'll continue to accumulate because I don't think that these things are dead by any means. Maybe some of them are, but the ones that I'm personally investing in, I have a lot of confidence with those coins moving forward. And so for that, I'm really not tripping about this retrace. In fact, when I started to see a sell-off yesterday, I was in euphoria. I was really happy. I checked CoinMarketCap and I was just smiling, grinning from ear to ear because I was so excited that I was actually going to be able to accumulate more altcoins, more Bitcoin at a cheaper level. Because at the end of the day, guys, if you're stuck on the opposite end of the market right now, analyze your emotions. If you feel negative emotions with everything that's going on in the market, meaning everything's bleeding and you're feeling a lot of stress, you're feeling anxiety, you're feeling anger, any of these negative emotions, it's because you're doing something wrong in your trading plan. Maybe you're investing too much money. Maybe you're doing something without a plan in place at all, because I know how frustrating and how anxiety-ridden you can feel in times like that when you're just kind of up for the market to do whatever. Because at that point, you're going to be checking your charts every single day. You're going to be checking prices specifically, because I check charts every single day, but I'm not worried about my dollar amount, or I'm not worried necessarily about those sort of valuations because I'm here for the long term. Realistically, I'm going to be holding my positions for at least 2 years. And so all of this noise in between is not important in the slightest. Really, we're just coming back down to these support levels. Overall, everything looks good. I mean, we had a massive support cluster that we actually bottomed right in the middle of back in the December lows, and now we're actually just kind of coming back down in the middle of this support cluster. So really not much has changed in the slightest. Realistically, I'm still very bullish on altcoins, and now is just a great time to be buying. In fact, I didn't think we'd go back down this low, so I'm actually very thankful for everything that's happening in this market, as you guys probably should too. Because like I said, if you're feeling negative emotions, chances are there's something wrong with your trading plan, and now would be an excellent time to stop, analyze what's going on in your trading plan, analyze what's going on in your investments, and then just take a step back. If you're feeling a lot of negative emotions inside of this market right now, just take a break. Don't look at the charts for a few days. Take some time to spend it with your family. Maybe you go work out. One thing that I do every single day is I meditate for 30 minutes, and that's been something that's really helped me more than most things in life. I like to meditate at night. Helps me to just clear my head, clear anything from any sort of chaotic nature that's going on inside the market. And so this is really what I wanted to share with you. Now, to wrap up this video, let's actually dive into one of my favorite charts, the altcoin dominance. Now, if you're new and just following me, which is probably the bulk of my subscribers at this point, considering I just had a massive uptick in new subscribers over the last week or so. If you're new and just finding this channel recently and you're just barely starting to see some of my analysis, this is actually a chart that I've been drawing for the last couple months, and it's something that I don't see any other analyst talking about. And this is actually the altcoin market cap by dominance is following a linear growth curve of the Fibonacci sequence. Now, if you guys do not know what the Fibonacci sequence is, the Fibonacci sequence is almost like the same as like what I just pulled up at the start of this video. We have Fibonacci retracements, we have Fibonacci extension tools, and the same math that's used in that is also the same math that really governs all of existence. And if I look up the Fibonacci sequence, you guys are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. We'll go to images real quick. Now, this is the fractal of life. That's what I've always called it. You can see it in plants. You can see it in literally everything. Seashells. If you even just look at your body and study your body, if you close your fist, it'll actually form this exact spiral. And so this is the exact formula for all of existence. This is the mathematic makeup of everything in life today. And it's really shocking to me how the actual altcoin dominance is following this exact fractal almost to a T. And we're going to see exactly what I mean. Now, the way that the Fibonacci sequence works is it starts by the first number. You take the first number and the last number, you add them together, and that gets the next number in the equivalent. So 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 and 2 is 5, 5 and 3 is 8, and so on and so forth. You guys get the gist of it. Now, with that being said, I've noticed that every single time altcoins bottom, so remember guys, at the very bottom of these, we can see these red boxes. At the very bottom is right before we have a massive alt season. Now, in this chart, whenever we impulse and everything goes green, that represents the entire altcoin market going up together as a whole. And we can see that if we would have had more data back in the early day, we would have actually followed the cycle identically, but we don't have any exchange data from previously of 2013. And so really the only data that we have is every bottom is a Fibonacci equivalent. And I can show you guys here. The bottom of this was 3%. Then we had an alt season. We retraced, and then the next bottom was 5%. And then we had a retrace, and then we had an alt season. Then we retraced again, and then the next bottom was 8%, and then we had another alt season. We retraced, and we bottomed at 13%. Now, this is really the only one that doesn't technically follow the equivalent. Technically, it fell all the way down to 12%, but the average of this bottom support cluster is 13%. And so it follows the exact same growth cycle of the Fibonacci sequence. We can see 3, 5, 8, 13, and now we're waiting for the next equivalent in that cycle, which would be 21%. And this is something I've been talking to you guys for a while. I wanted to actually update you guys with this chart because I've had so many new subscribers come to this channel recently over the last week. And I know that you guys probably have not seen this chart because I personally have not seen another analyst talking about this. And this is really one of my favorite fractals to see because I remember when I first got into cryptocurrency, really I was obsessed with the Fibonacci fractal. And then when I actually learned that there was Fibonacci extension tools, it just blew my mind how the same math that creates humans, that creates animals, that creates plants and everything in existence today is the exact same math that we can actually apply to charts and our analysis. And to see that the altcoins, every time we have a major bottom in the altcoins, it's actually a Fibonacci equivalent, shows that as Bitcoin grows, the altcoins are growing in the linear growth cycle of the Fibonacci sequence. And so I say this because really we're just waiting for that next equivalent to be met. And that's what I've been waiting for a while now. We've had this retrace in this bear cycle, and we're continuing to fall lower. The current price action that we're seeing right now is looking more bearish. I don't know exactly what this pattern is based off of candlesticks. Specifically, I don't know what it's called, but I know that this is a bearish setup. You have a bearish engulfing candle, you have a buyback of these little green candles, we come back for a lower high, and then we have another bearish engulfing candle on the way down. And so we're just waiting for this candle to actually develop, but I would expect that this red candle that we're seeing right now forming would actually drop all the way back down to this lower support, and we're going to see another major bearish engulfing candle before we actually go into new lows. And that's a pattern that I've seen in times past, and I'm expecting it to play out again. Now, based off of Elliott wave analysis, I know I haven't been doing a lot of Elliott wave analysis, but I like to use it to kind of map out where we're at in the cycle. We had our 1 wave, we had our 3 wave, and now we're working on the final 5 wave retrace. Now, with that being said, we currently have had a 1 of the 5, and this was our 3 of the 5. We retraced, and now we're about to have the final impulse of this Elliott wave cycle. Let's actually change these up a little bit. We had the 1, we had the 3, we're retracing into the 4, and I actually think that we're very close to having that final 5 wave impulse, which in theory, if we continue to follow the Fibonacci equivalence, it's going to take us back down here to about 21% Bitcoin or altcoin dominance. Now let's actually draw a support level so that you guys know exactly where that would be. That would be anywhere from there to about here. Right around there. And it's also the same support cluster as all 3 of the highs of the last few alt seasons that we've had. And so it would make sense to me that we would actually come back down and retest that, because we haven't up to this point. The last alt season saw us break out of these levels so fast that we never had the chance to actually come back down and retest that. So that's why I think that in this bear trend, we're going to retrace and we're going to fall all the way back down and retest the 3 highs of the last cycles. And those are all 3 of the last alt seasons that we've experienced. Now, with that being said, guys, that's going to be our last retrace that we're going to experience before I would expect us to actually go into that new found alt season. And that would take us to 21% Bitcoin, or that would take us to 21% altcoin dominance, and we're really not far off. Now, if I draw a trading plan tool, let's see exactly how big of a drop that's going to be. It's going to be about a 40% drop back down to my final target. And so that's what I mean, guys. This is going to be an excellent buying opportunity. If you're seeing this right now and you're feeling a lot of fear because you've accumulated a lot of altcoin positions and you see that they might drop another 40%, just understand that the lower that the altcoin market cap by dominance goes, the bigger the alt season is going to be for the next 2 years. And so that's why I've actually been so thankful that we've continued to drop off from this point, is because I want to accumulate more at cheaper prices, because I know over the next 2 years I'm going to make so much more money by accumulating at these low support levels. Because for this thing to go up in this next cycle, I mean, at the peak we hit about 67% altcoin dominance, and so for us to come back down to about 21%, just to the high is going to be about a 200% move, but I would expect us to hit upwards of about 85% and potentially even 90% in this next cycle. Because remember, guys, this chart only goes to 100%. It can't go any higher than that, because there's no way that they can just take all of Bitcoin's market cap. It's not going to happen. They can't send Bitcoin into a negative. And so 100% is the highest that we can go, but that would also entitle Bitcoin completely dying out. Now, I've always been a firm believer in altcoins because I don't think Bitcoin's going to be the only cryptocurrency that's around. So many of these other altcoins actually have a very strong use case for the future, and a lot of them aren't even currencies for that matter. Sure, they might have a cryptocurrency, but a lot of these fulfill so many different sort of tasks that you really can't consider it a currency at that point. It does so much other things. It's more of a protocol at that point. And so for that reason, I'm actually expecting that this altcoin dominance is going to continue to grow as more money is put into these altcoins, as more of them are adopted by mainstream society. Bitcoin won't be the only one, it's just the first, and so they're going to continue to suck from all of that value. But with all that being said, guys, the next alt season is going to be a major one, especially with how far we've retraced in this bear cycle. With one more leg coming down, really the best thing that you guys are going to be able to do, and this is not financial advice, is accumulate the dip. Don't get scared out of your positions. The last thing you want to be doing right now is selling, especially if you've been holding throughout this bear market. Don't get shaken out of your positions. Keep a level head. If you need to, take some time away from the charts. Overall, things are looking very excellent, and I'm more than happy to see exactly what's happening thus far. The fact that we're continuing to retrace down lower to my lower support levels and actually continue to fractal out this Fibonacci equivalent makes me very excited, and I want you guys to just know that the short-term bearish cycle is almost over. I'm sure we have one more leg down, But overall, after that, if you're actually somebody that's hold through this entire bear market, you've stayed through all of the struggle, I just want you guys to know that you're going to be so much better off in the longevity with all of your investments, that you're going to be so excited 2 years from now just because you were able to muster the bear market, you kept a level head, you didn't get shaken out of your bags, and you're going to be rewarded significantly for that. So thank you guys all for so much of the support recently. Like I said, it just means so much to me to be able to make YouTube videos for you guys. I would love to make this my full-time job, and I think that I'm getting closer and closer to being able to do that every single day. So continue to smash that like button, continue to subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any more updates like the one provided for you here. If you want to join a community that you can trust, I left an invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I will catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.